Hello, everyone. Again, from Patrick, or hello, everyone. Again, excited to be back on next episode. And I am currently working on building a calendar integration for Make Money from Coding. So my name is Patrick Farrell. I am a developer and a business coach as well. And I'm currently working on an application for you as a developer or someone that's into technology to use your expertise to make more money from coding. AI has really changed the game for people to be able to make money by building software and creating things that are really powerful in the world. And this narrative around coders are losing their jobs and everything, like, it might be true that junior developers are losing their jobs and not able to make as much. However, if those people and senior developers as well learn these AI skills that I'm going to be teaching in my platform, as well as giving you access so that you can sell your software, like, quite honestly, we become superhuman. This is the tool that the world needs right now to get to the place that we're all meant to be, which is obviously making more money, traveling the world, doing the things that you want to be doing and not so tied into a job and a 9 to 5. And that's really what this channel is about, is giving you the freedom and the flexibility to be able to do that. So right now, one thing that we've been adding recently to the platform is services. But when we do services, I originally just had a link here to connect to your Calendly link or whatever. So now in the last 24 hours, I've been working heavily on doing the direct integration with Google Calendar and Microsoft Azure, or Microsoft Teams, excuse me. So I'm going to walk you through as I'm debugging right now. I didn't live stream because I was doing this last night about 2 o'clock in the morning was when I went to bed. But right now we're working on making sure the Google Calendar integration and Microsoft Teams integration are working correctly. And that's what I've been debugging and going through right now. When you're developing with AI, by the way, you really kind of get to the point where you are the designer and the architect of the ideas and how it wants to be built. AI becomes the doer of the task, which is happening right now, and then you also become the QA and test engineer. Did it build the thing you wanted to do? Are there any bugs? And what do we have to refine? So that we go back to the beginning and tell it, okay, add this change and make this change better or different or make it work. And also, you also really have to learn the back end of the infrastructure. I'm right now working with Google Cloud and Microsoft Azure, which are needed to do this integration so that the calendar feature can work. So what we're doing right now is we have been going through and I'm trying to debug why this was not working. So this is our terminal window. I'm going to stop and restart the program. And we're going to go to the scheduling link and click on settings. And you may see last night we were talking about the blog feature, but this is the calendar feature that we've been implementing. And it's currently compiling. It seems when you're developing with Node software and doing real-time development, it is a little slow to compile, but it does come back and work. So you can see, okay, we have Google Calendar integration, we have Microsoft Calendar integration as well. So this is the one I'm working on right now to try to make sure it works. I already got the Google Calendar one working last night, but there's some tweaks I'm going to have to do, as well as making sure they both work together. So what happens when you connect Microsoft Azure to it, and we're going to just connect our account, and this is what I've been getting stuck with right now. So let's see if we can actually get this to connect. And all right, so we got here. I'm going to screenshot this just in case it doesn't work. Just give it context. We always want to be giving the AI as much context as possible on what is actually going on. It looks like so far so good. And we are going to click here. That seems to have worked. Let's go back and see. We're waiting for the overview page to come back and see if we were actually able to connect our Microsoft Calendar. Let's see, this is the moment of truth. Connecting your calendar. Okay, so we still didn't get it fully connected. So you see, like I clicked on that button and nothing happened. So this is the real world development, and this is the error that we're getting here. So I need to feed this back in, and let's see. I'm going to say it got to the point where we tried to connect, but I'm still having an issue. This is in the console. So we want to give it context. So I gave it that image, I gave it a message, and then I'm giving it the debug. So I want to tell it what's going on so that I'm able to give it as much context as possible on the problem that's happening so it figures it out. It says the issue is the token is being received, but when we try to fetch user information, Microsoft is still denying access. This suggests the token doesn't have scope we need. Let's check what's happening and get user calendars function and simplify. So it's going to do some work. And it's pretty incredible. When you're developing now with these AI tools, like they know how Google and Microsoft do things. And like I would have had to spend hours and hours of documentation trying to figure this out, running code, taking sample code. Like this is so much better. And I've been able to develop things in hours. It did take me like 5 or 6 hours to do the Google one last night. But it's getting so much quicker to be able to do this quickly. And it's not to say that like you can't, you're not going to need developers anymore. Like this is all like very technical work. It's the thing about it is the low level like daily to do tasks, like the doing of the software development and writing the code is out the window. Like if you don't learn this stuff now and get really clear on how this all works, you need to understand at a higher level as well as the infrastructure and how it's all designed so that you understand how to make this all work properly. So let's see, it says perfect. I've now made the callback handler more resilient. I will try to fetch the time zone from Microsoft, but it fails. Try connecting Microsoft Calendar again. It should work this time and save the connection in the database even if it can't fetch your time zone, which is default to the UTC. All right, so there's something wrong with maybe the time zone of what it was happening. So let's try this again. So what I did there is I did Control-C to stop the running program, and I just started it again. So we're going to go and let's just refresh this page so we can see it come back. We're just waiting. All right. So by the way, I started to do a blog on Make Money from Coding, so while we wait for this, you can now go to this blog, and I've started creating things that I think are really, really valuable. A lot of this was written with Claude Code because I'm just trying to get like 6 or so blog posts up there, but these are all real things that I think are very, very important, such as Git is really important, Docker is really important, how to vibe code your way all the way to production is really, really important. And then the infrastructure. This is what it's all about, is building not just the like low level tasks, but actually building the infrastructure. And then also why this platform exists. Like this is all about helping you build your business, helping you build your online business to make this all work. So let's now click on Connect to Microsoft Calendar and see if we can get anywhere farther this time after it made that change. All right, it's connecting. All right, we're going to try this again. Let's see. All right, getting closer. Accept the permission needs, and well, we still got an error. So what we're going to do is still feed this back in, and we need to give it the error here. Still have an error. So this is constantly like a lot of what I do now is I go test things. I see, okay, this is broken. It used to be like you'd have to spend hours and frustration and energy on like just debugging this yourself. But with AI, it really, really helps you. So it says perfect, Microsoft Calendar is now connected successfully. The connection was the warnings about time zone are just following attempts. It couldn't get your exact time zone. So that something did happen, and oh look, Microsoft Calendar connected. That's good. So now something I see is that when Microsoft Calendar is connected, we still have this Google Meet for each booking. So what we need to do is we're going to feed this whole thing, and we're going to feed this image into the AI and say, great, now it's connected. I noticed that for the meeting links, even though we are connected to Google, to Microsoft, we are defaulting to using Google Meet. In this case, we should default to using Microsoft Teams and have the option for Google Meet or a custom link. All right, so now basically what I'm telling it is we're now connected to Microsoft. I do think maybe we still want to be able to use Google Meet with Microsoft, but it should default to Teams so that everybody can be in their normal environment, which is Microsoft Teams now. And I'm going to see whether we are able to do that with this new way. So let me update this component to dynamically show the correct provider, Microsoft Teams or Google Meet, based on which calendar is connected. So it's now making these code changes. It says you're absolutely right. Like sometimes it's a little funny because it's like it's so it's so like your friend, and it says you're absolutely right. And I don't get like so wrapped up in that sometimes. Like it kind of has this confirmation bias. So you kind of like have to challenge it sometimes too, and but it is just kind of funny. It says it's like you're so absolutely right. So what now? I'm looking as it says you're connected to Microsoft Calendar. It should sync to Microsoft Teams links, not Google Meet. Let's fix the meeting link preferences. So it's looking and it's trying to figure this out. It says perfect. Now the meeting link preferences will dynamically show auto-generate Microsoft Teams. When you have Google Calendar connected, the component intelligently mentions the alternative provider. Awesome. So let's see if this fixed it. And we're going to go back. All right, well, I automatically create a new Microsoft Teams link for each booking. This will be included in the calendar. Perfect. So now with that, you could use a custom link as well. But if you're connected to Microsoft Calendar, you are going to use Microsoft Teams. If you're connected to Google Calendar, you're going to use Google Meet as a default, and then you can connect another link here if you wanted to. So now what we want to do is just kind of test this. So what we're going to do is go to Services, and we're going to go back up to Services here. And let me just open the chat just in case I see you guys talking. I don't know if I can see that right now actually, but we'll try to get that going on one of the future streams. Yeah, YouTube is not connected. I'm trying to connect this Google YouTube Studio. I'm still getting used to this, guys, so I apologize for any weirdness in these streams, but I'm hoping that this is valuable for you to hard time solving data structures. I often feel demotivated. Yeah, I mean, these are definitely difficult things sometimes to go through. I'd highly recommend some basic programming classes. Like everybody's saying you don't need AI, you don't need all this stuff anymore, you don't need to know how to code, which is just, in my opinion, completely false. Like you need to know how to code to do this, and you need to know how it's working in order to really make this happen in a powerful way. If you don't know how to code, you're at the mercy of like the AI, and it's really like I talk about this a lot in my videos. You are the director of the AI. You are the project manager, you are the director, you are meant to direct the AI to tell it what to do. You are not meant to have it think for you. Yes, it can help you. It did think a lot for this calendar integration feature, but I knew what I wanted. I knew the outcome of what I was looking for so that I could actually achieve this result of getting the calendar feature done. So my computer, I just started looking for a brand new MacBook because with me trying to stream and code and compile all at the same time, this computer is struggling a little bit now, and I'm about to try to get a new computer so that I can manage this a little bit better. But I have to probably I'm currently in Tulum, Mexico, so I'm probably gonna have to run to the United States to get the new computer when it's time for that. So might as well, while we're waiting for this to kind of show up, and I don't know why it's going so slow, we can show you, I can show you Git. So Git is, again, one of the most powerful tools you'll ever learn. In addition to like this terminal here, you need to know how to use the terminal, by the way. So we're gonna go into Vercel, we're gonna go into Make Money from Coding, and I'm gonna go into Git-K. So Git-K is the place where you can track all the changes. So you can see like, okay, this is what's happening, this is on main, this is what's deployed to the production environment. And I'm currently using Vercel to deploy and host the production environment. Now I started making changes, and then these are all the changes, all this stuff here, 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 all the way through to where we are right now. These are all the changes that I've made on my local machine that are building this calendar integration feature. And I'm not yet anywhere close, well, I'm not saying anywhere close, I'm gonna push it soon, but I am building all these features right here that are going to make this new calendar feature live, but I have to push this to the live server in order to make that happen. So let's go back here. Okay, so this is the services feature that we're building into Make Money from Coding, and this is the back end side. So this is what I see on the back end as the developer, but or as the developer that would be using this platform. And this is what the public would see. So basically, you can set like the different costs. And what we're really trying to test right now is not the booking feature, which should already work, which is connected to Stripe, but we're trying to test the schedule discovery call feature. So what we're going to do is we're going to see if it will let us actually book a call or book a discovery call. And now it's going to go over and let's see what happens. If you guys are watching, I'd love to know where you're coming in from. I see there's a couple comments in the chat. So where are you coming in from? What are you working on yourself right now? And how can I help you as well along the way? All right, so now we're booking a discovery call. So with this platform, you are going to be wanting to use it to book discovery calls. So are people interested in what you have to offer, and do they want to buy? So that's what this is all about, is being able to book that discovery call. And so we're waiting for this to come back right now. And I don't know why it's going so slow. So this is a interesting thing, and hopefully it will come back. I think it's partly because I'm just live streaming and developing and doing all this stuff at the same time. So let's see what happens. Maybe I can close a couple of these things. I can't close too much because there we go. Okay, it worked. So for some reason Monday's off, so I have to look at the thing. These times look, I need to specify these times better. I don't know why, but let's just try this. So Patrick Farrell, I'm going to use my normal address and I'm going to confirm a booking. So now we're testing. Does this show up? Okay, so that looks good, except on the other way, let's see. Okay, so when using Google Calendar, the booking link for Google Meets showed up here, but with Microsoft, I don't see the Teams link. It would be nice if it was here. All right, so now what I'm going to do is tell it, like, why didn't you give me the Teams link here, so that if they booked a call like 2 minutes before, it would actually give me that link. But what I'm going to do also is I'm going to go in and check, did I receive an email from the system? And I did. I did actually receive an email from the system. It says your booking is confirmed. A calendar invite has been sent to you. And the question is, was it actually sent? Let's see. I don't see a calendar invite being sent. So I'm going to take this from my phone and I'm going to send it back to my computer now, and I'm going to feed this into the AI, and I'm going to say prominent join meeting. Okay. So I also received an email that said a calendar, a meeting was booked, but I don't see any calendar invite like it says. Please check if this is working. All right, so basically I'm telling it, like, I got the invitation, I got the email, and it said it was booked, but I don't get any like calendar invitation, which would actually give me the meeting link, and I'm not sure it's going to show up on my local calendar. However, let's look as the seller here. That's the next thing we want to check is, did this show up here? And it did. So like, look, so this is the call. You were the organizer, and it looks like my account client booked it. So now the next thing is, this says client. We actually want this to say lead, because if they're booking a discovery call, they may not be a client yet. They are a lead for us to be able to get them interested in our products and services. So I'm going to change this to lead as well. So I'm going to screenshot this and say, and we'll let that one finish. Also, while we did get the link to the get the calendar invite to appear on our calendar, it says lead instead of, it says client, excuse me, instead of lead. For a discovery call, this should say lead because they may not be a client yet. That's why it is a discovery call. All right, so basically I'm trying to get it to change what it says here when it actually shows my calendar. So me as the developer that's using the system knows who I'm talking to and what and more information about it. So let's see what I've updated them to properly send meeting invitations using prefer. So it looks like it's good. The calendar invite will be created in your Microsoft Calendar. Automatically send. So theoretically, it fixed the problem that I was asking it to fix. The buyer will receive 2 emails: confirmation email from your app, calendar so basically there's 2 emails that go out. It looks like one's from our app, Make Money from Coding, and then one is actually going to be coming directly from Microsoft Outlook. So perfect. Now the calendar invitation will show correct terminology. Other from client. In the future, I'm gonna probably change client, like if they're booking a meeting, they may not be a client. So like it might have to be that they have actually come in my system and booked excuse me, they've actually come in the system, they've actually purchased something for them to show up as client, but that's a level of complexity and like a smaller detail right now that I just not ready to fix because we're trying to get initial functionality done. That's a lot of times what happens is like all these little details are clearly very important, but those can be changed later. We need to get the core functionality working for a minimum viable product right now so we can get this feature out to our clients. All right, so now we're going to go back and we're going to go back to the service and let's try this again. So we're going to book another discovery call. And if you guys are watching, yeah, like what are you working on? How can I help you get more clear? So awesome. So basically, we're just waiting. All right. So let's book another call. So for these times, I'm gonna check on like why that's those hours. But let's also book. This is my second discovery call. So let's just put that in there so we're aware and let's see what happens. Do we get a link to open Google Teams or Microsoft Teams, excuse me. So let's see. We still don't get a Teams link, but maybe that's just a feature that we're not going to get. I don't know. Let's look at our email. All right, so we get a new subscriber, which is nice. This is my second discovery call. I've got that calendar invite created, and there that goes. But I still, okay, so that showed up here. It shows leads, so it did fix that thing. This is my second call. Nice. So that's there. Now, if we open this, I'm not a huge user of Microsoft, so I am, if I hit Teams meeting, now does that send me an email? Let's see. Let's see. Edit. I'm gonna go over here and say, let's see. I'm still not getting the email from Microsoft like you said. Let's see. Well, automatic sending. I noticed too that on the booking that Teams meeting is not checked. Is there a setting we need to add to make this automatic? So basically I'm asking, okay, like you booked this, you made this appointment in my calendar, which is great. However, you are not setting this Teams invitation so that we actually get a place for us to actually connect via Teams, and that's obviously a problem. The code looks correct. We're setting, let me check what the value is being passed to create meeting link for the booking. So something is off. Good catch. The Teams not being turned on automatically. This is controlled by is online meeting. Now, guys, like it's important to think about too. Like, I'm not just like letting this go and just having it code like willy-nilly without me. Like, I'm trying to at least understand what it's doing along the way, and I'm trying to keep up with the changes it's making. Now, albeit I don't know everything, but it is important for me to like kind of be clear on what's happening, because remember, I'm the architect and the designer now. and it is doing the work clearly for me, but I am just trying to become the really good designer that is watching. Because like if you're building a building and you're not like keeping track of what's going on, like you're gonna get to the end of the building and you're like, oh my gosh, like this thing could fall apart. That's not what we want, right? We want to make sure. So now try creating a new booking and watch your terminal. Tell me what you see specifically. What does MediaLink show? So it's asking me now to redo this. So we're going to stop this, restart it, and let's go back to service. We just go back to the main page. All right, so we're going back right now. Let me throw this link in a couple chats right now, so hang on. All right, so I'm live now, so if you guys are joining, welcome, and hopefully we'll have a few more people that join the stream. So we're going to come back and do what it asked us for now. So we're going to go back in, and we're going to go create another booking. So we're going back to the page. We're going to go back to services. Essentially what's happening right now, by the way, is I'm buying my own product to do the testing. So there's no restriction right now on the fact that you can't buy your own product, which is actually really helpful when you are testing. Because when you are using this system for the first time, right now you have to manually put your Stripe keys in. So you go to Stripe, you create your keys, and then you copy and paste your keys in here. I do plan to make that easier in the future. I think that there is a way to do that, but right now you have to manually do that yourself. So it's nice also to be able to do product testing and just confirm everything is working before you make your keys go live. And sometimes that's helpful to be able to buy your own products. So that's what we're doing. All right, so we're going back in and we're going to open the services page. That's what this is going to look like in a second, hopefully. So while it comes up, I also am adding, it's not live yet, but you're going to be able to have your own blog on the platform. You're going to be able to have a blog that looks very similar to this, specifically for you. So you can write your own blogs and get people following you. You can do kind of like the important marketing and share your knowledge as a developer out to the world. You will also be able to submit this post that you're creating for your blog on the platform to our main blog. And if you want to write for Make Money from Coding, we'll review it and then actually let you be on our main page, which will be really cool to help each developer kind of grow our audience using our platform as well to get you guys a audience and help you find clients to use the platform. Because that's really what this is all about, is it's getting easier to develop software, but it's not always easy to sell the software. And it's not always easy to manage the client relationships as you're selling software. So the whole goal of this platform is to help you create a place for you to be able to sell and manage your interactions with the clients. We have somebody coming back in. So we're just live right now talking about debugging this. So what we're going to do is go to schedule discovery call and hit that. And remember, it's asking us a question. What does MediaLink show now after we go through? What does create a new booking and watch your terminal? So we're watching this terminal here and we're waiting for it to, it should be faster, by the way, when it's on the live site. I believe this is just slow because of my computer and all the stuff I'm doing, as well as it's compiling the code in real time. I do need to also be able to to manage this and let the user select their time zone. That's going to be important, so I have to think about that. So these are all the things, like the details matter when you're developing software. Like the details, the software is only as good as everything that you've thought of to add to the software. So you have to really think of all the details that are important to the user to be able to use this effectively. And if you think about the details, they don't have to as much. They can just click through and it makes it super intuitive for them. But that's what we're doing. So we have one visitor right now. If you guys are watching, please throw in the chat where you're watching from and if you have any questions. But I'm just debugging and testing this new calendar feature that we're developing. So, all right, let's put a new booking in here. This is what it asked me to do. This is, let's say this is our third booking. Okay, so now we're testing, does that work? And we're gonna take a look here, because this is what it asked us to do here, is look at what's happening. So, all right, and we're still waiting. All right, and it probably wants me to copy and paste that. Says behavior is not standardized or prone errors have secure. All right, so what we're going to do is copy and paste that in here, and then we're going to go back and look at the new booking. This is the second booking. This is our third booking. So this is the one that was just created. So let's open that. And you notice that it's still not set. And let's see if I got anything going. Discovery call confirmed. I did get an email, which is nice. Your meeting is confirmed. This is our third booking, but I'm still not getting any calendar invite to my page. So I can say, okay, let's go back here, and we're going to do a screenshot this. We're going to move this in here, and before we do that, we're going to check. Okay, so perfect. The log shows everything is set correctly, so the issue must be something else. Let me check the Teams meetings are actually being created, but not showing the calendar. Let me verify. Okay. Tell me what the Microsoft now try creating another booking. Tell me what the Microsoft Teams event created log. Okay. This, I'll do that now. That now. I'm still not getting it to say Teams has been created. Okay, so I'm basically telling it doesn't know, it's not setting this thing here, which is what we want to have happen. So it adds some debugging code. I can see that the Teams toggle is still off. Let me check the logs you're seeing in the terminal. All right, so it is gonna make a couple more changes. In the meantime, I suspect the issue might be that the Microsoft Graph API requires the online meeting to be created asynchronously, or there's a specific way to request it. Let me check the Microsoft Graph documentation. That's the crazy thing too, is like the AI is able to go out to Microsoft's documentation, Google's documentation, and find real life information, which is really actually important to know, because LLMs, large language models, that's what's helping me run this, and what Claude Code is using is trained on a certain specific amount of data, and it doesn't always know like the most up-to-date information. So it needs to sometimes go to a third-party page for the documentation and get the information that's more up-to-date maybe than what it knows, and that's what we are doing here. So what we're going to do is we're going to, all right, so create a meeting booking and paste the terminal output here. So now it wants me to do the same thing again. So we're gonna start the server back up, and we're gonna go back to the service, and we're still not quite there with this, but we're getting closer and closer. What was your prompt? Oh, I was extremely clear. All right, so schedule discovery call. All right, cool. So we're waiting for it. And while we wait, I'm just gonna send a couple of threads. And again, why am I building this? I'm building this because it's easier and easier to get people to build software, but it's not so easy to manage clients and actually distribute that software. And I've been working on software development for 20 years. I've actually had a couple clients exit their companies, and this is the first time though that I'm really working hard on my own software. So let's move it to a different date right now, just so that we're clear. We're going to put Patrick Farrell. We're going to say this is the 4th discovery call, and we're going to click confirm booking. So now what we're doing is waiting to see what shows up here, and we're going to see what happens in our calendar when this booking is made, and we're just trying to debug. While this seems painstakingly slow and annoying, it's still way easier than it would be trying to code this yourself. All right, so same thing. We have it showing up. This is still off. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna copy and paste this into our window here, and that's what it asks us to do. So we're gonna follow what it says, and AI becomes your teammate. It's like, okay, do this, and what's the alternative? In the past, you would have to have a whole team. Maybe you hire an overseas team, maybe you hire a junior developer, maybe you have a business partner, but you would have to be going back and forth. This makes, honestly, once you learn this, it makes the process a lot faster and easier. No, Microsoft Graph requires a specific approach for creating online meetings. We need to set online meeting to true and provide the provider. So there's something additional that it needs to do in order to create this. So Microsoft Graph is ignoring is online meeting setting and not creating the Teams meeting. This is a known issue with Microsoft Graph API. You need to set a different approach. According to Microsoft documentation, when creating an event with an online meeting, you should not set online meeting directly. Instead, you should either use a separate API to call to create the online meeting, or use calendar events endpoint, but let the request body be middle and then patch it. Let me try a different approach and use this. So this is complicated, and quite honestly, would have had a lot of frustration if AI wasn't helping me right now. Thank you, Claude Code and Anthropic. Perfect. I've now implemented a workaround. If the graph online meeting isn't created during initial post request, we'll immediately follow up with a patch request to add it. This is a common workaround for the Microsoft Graph. Try creating a new booking and let me know what you see. You should see Microsoft. So now we want to do the same thing again and do the testing. Now I do believe you can create AI agents to do some level of testing with the AI itself. So when it creates it, it can test it. But this level of testing where you're interacting with a third-party system such as Microsoft Teams, there's still some manual stuff that you have to do. I have heard of some people using Playwright and these other systems, but I still think there's some of this, there's a human level of this that still has to happen in order to really get this all working correctly. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back and we're gonna try to build again, and let's see what happens this time. All right, so schedule discovery call. So this is it's a lot of work, but quite honestly, I haven't seen a platform that really makes this streamlined and straightforward for people. If you sign up for something like Go High Level, there's a lot of setup and needed. There's not a lot of things that integrate directly. So there's not a direct distribute your product and schedule these calls all in one platform. And I'm excited to offer this, and quite honestly, I'm going to be white labeling this software. So if you are interested in having it like this in your own business, where you have calendar integration for clients, you can distribute software, you can distribute online products and digital products and manage the whole thing, like this platform is going to be available for you to deploy in your own business as well as like a white label, obviously for a higher cost, but I am working hard on making that happen for you so that you don't have to necessarily build all this stuff yourself, because this has been, I'd say, about 100 hours worth of work so far. Oh, sorry, so fifth discovery call. So we're just going to say fifth discovery call at 10 a.m. and we're going to say book. And let's see what happens when we do this. So it theoretically made some code changes, and we're trying to see if what it says here, try and patch approach, is going to fix the issue of not actually creating the platform and the change that we're looking for. So 8 p.m. Eastern, that'd be too late for me. All right, so still we don't have a Teams meeting like that showed up. I'm going to copy and paste this and see how it did. And we're going to then go, and then this is the 5th, and nothing's changed yet. So unfortunately, I can see the patch approach also returned. This is frustrating. Microsoft Graph is not creating the Teams meeting even with the correct properties. Let me check if this is a permissions issue. The problem might be that your Microsoft account doesn't have Teams enabled, or we need additional API permissions. That quite could be is that I don't have Teams enabled, because I'm using a free account. I don't usually use Microsoft Teams, so maybe that's why. According to Microsoft documentation for personal accounts, is online meeting won't work. We need to check what type of account you're using and potentially use a different approach. Okay, so now let me create documentation. So it's documenting the problem for me as well. So unfortunately, you've hit a Microsoft API limitation. Microsoft Teams can only be created for Microsoft 365 accounts, not personal accounts. Okay, so fair enough. Since you're using this might be a personal account registered with that domain rather than a true Microsoft 365 organization account. Use custom meeting links recommended for now, so you can do that. Change from auto-generated Teams. Connect with a Microsoft 365. So now, honestly, the next thing to do is to test with a real Microsoft 365 account and see if that will work. Switch to Google Calendar. Google Calendar auto-generates with Google Meets. Is working correctly. It's creating events, sending invitations, and checking conflicts. The Teams link generation is just blocked by Microsoft's API restrictions for personal accounts. Would you like me to help you set up a custom meeting link instead? Custom meeting links. Go to dashboard scheduling sessions, change auto-generate link to use custom, enter your preferred meeting URL. This will work perfectly for all. Okay, so basically what it's saying is if I am using a free Microsoft account, which is what this is, it's not going to work. It's not going to let me auto-generate Teams. I have to be a paid user of Microsoft 365. And that's actually probably fine. I'll just have to test that later. So the last thing I really want to test and end this video is I want to go in and I want to switch back to using Microsoft or using Google. So what we're going to do is go back to scheduling. And we're going to go to scheduling and wait for it. So yeah, I'm going to get a new computer. This is getting a little slow, unfortunately. Let's try to close Zoom. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is go back to our calendar settings, and we need to disconnect. We're going to hit disconnect, And now we're just testing. So we're gonna disconnect our Microsoft Calendar and we're gonna try to reconnect our Google Calendar. So let's try to reconnect our Google Calendar here and see if we're able to do that, and that's seamless. Okay, this looks good. This is looking good. Yes. Awesome. Nice. All right. Google Calendar is connected, and I've already tested this. So I'll show you guys in the future what this is all set up to be. Scheduling sessions. Now it's taking a little bit. Let's go back to scheduling. All right, guys, if you are watching, would love to know if you have any questions on what I'm doing here. All right, so settings. Now the last thing I really want to do is be able to specify on the, okay, so on the settings page, all right, so actually before we do that, we're gonna do Get GUI. So we're gonna open Get GUI and we're gonna put all this stuff as test integration finish build integration with Microsoft Calendar. All right, so we're gonna hit commit. Now we're going to say one last thing. Okay, now on the scheduling settings page, we want to be able to specify our home. I'm a nomad and I like to travel, so what we're going to do is have a home time zone and a traveling time zone, just so you can have both. Then on the availability page, allow them to select which time zone they're currently set to. So this feature, quite honestly, is probably going to require a lot of debugging and testing because there's going to be some, like, what happens when you change it? What happens when it's set on the wrong time zone? And there's going to be a lot of probably bugs back and forth with this, but I'm going to assume that that's going to be the case. And for now, I'm going to implement this as a first pass to kind of get it going and seeing what we can do. So it looks like it's home time zone, traveling time zone, active time zone. So it's altering the database, and this is where people get stuck a lot of the times when they're trying to code with AI. They don't know how the back end is working, and that's a big problem when you're developing with like Lovable and stuff like that, is you're not really understanding it. And sure, it can do a really good job of the first pass, but then when you start to make changes that require database changes in the back end, it kind of gets really a little mucky and a little messy, and it's hard to manage. So I like Claude Code, and actually Cursor is getting really, really good at this too, to manage these like more traditional coding environments so that you can build software reliably. All right, guys, so I think I'm going to end the video here. We will push this live and do testing, and then hopefully this scheduling feature will go out to the normal Make Money from Coding website within the next day or so. I may or may not turn on right away just because there's going to be some testing, and actually I have to get approved by Google and Microsoft to do this like integration properly. So there might be some back and forth with that as well. But we're getting closer and closer to really getting this going and having it be live, and I'm excited about it. So thanks guys for watching. I hope that this was helpful and you got something out of watching this while I did this debug session more than a coding session. And if you like this video, hit a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'm going to try to do some like more vlog style as well as like tutorials where I just talk to the camera. But I think this live feature where I actually do it with you, I think could be helpful for people because honestly, like the way I've learned so much is by watching other people to build software and what they're doing. And it's like you have to see it and then you have to do it yourself, and that's the process to start to master it. And that's why actually my company is called EIM Global Solutions, is education, inspiration, and implementation, really mastery. And that's a big part of what I do. So if you're interested in learning about Claude Code, if you want to sell your software, if you want to build things that make you money online, check out makemoneyfromcoding.com. Follow me on Instagram at patrickfarrell.life, and we'll see